Important to point out about this. We've been talking about the architecture, which is number one. That's the architecture museum. You're seeing the gray buildings. Those are the context buildings, and anything in white are the A-list historical buildings that you'll be able to get some sort of idea of the history of, or maybe get some information on. The topography, which you're seeing here, are the different landscapes. So you'll go from the Berkshires on this side to something like a fictionalized Gotham, which is an amalgamation of London, New York, Tokyo, down at that end. And you'll go from one landscape to another through the desert Southwest and the Rockies and some sort of industrial Americana along the way. The other major sort of innovation that this museum has is typically when you do a model train layout, you'll have someone paint the backgrounds. This will have a rear projection screen. So it'll be a continuous video. So everything you're seeing along the edge here will be a continuous video projection. So it's a 1,500-foot long video projection, meaning that we can change the seasons, we can change the sky, and we could have storms roll in. So that will be then synchronized with the surround sound system, making this a total experience. So the physical buildings that are modeled will then blend into this digital background, making the continuous motion of the trains all that more dynamic.
So you could do a 24-hour day in half an hour or in an hour. And as the sun goes down, the buildings light up, the trains light up, and vice versa. As the sun comes up, the buildings go down.
And so from one end to the other, you'd be able to stand at one end and see through the 670-foot gallery from one end to the other. And then this is a larger mezzanine that gives you a second view, so you can look down upon, that's Fenway Park over there, sitting quite close to Grand Central Station, next to buildings in London and Shanghai. So it's this mix, this sort of fantasy of many different architectural types, trying to collect all the iconic architecture. And so then this here, the way to get trains from one side to the other, just like in the real world, it would be a bridge. So this is a scale model of the Brooklyn Bridge at 1:48. So from one pier to the other, it'd be 36 feet. So you'd be able to walk underneath them. About 8 train lines would be going across. 115 foot wide by 30 feet tall, continuous screen. So it's like an IMAX screen inside of the gallery, which then would be able to show dynamically what's going on with a specific train. So maybe you'd have sort of a camera on one of the trains as it runs along part of the track. Also maybe having a console along the area that people could interact with, changing the trajectories of these trains or linking into one to learn a little bit more about one or the other.